Introducing Konsequent by Jake Clover, the person this series is dedicated to. And Konsequent is, as one may assume, it's the combination of consequence and maybe sequential and or consequence misspelled, especially because there's a K instead of a C. Further expanding on the idea of just toying with a language, not just in video games, but in English. But really, majority of the games have been toying with or trying to manipulate the English language, just like your favorite hip hop artists. The description goes as such: a game appearing in some sense similar to Less Realm. Use the arrows Z key and enter. Hashtag other. This was made in GameMaker and published on December 21st, 2012, which is actually very soon after. I did not note. No, this is, yeah, I swore I wrote down the dates here. It Came From Not Here. It Came From Not Here was released December 19th, so this was published 2 days right after It Came From Not Here. But still, that's so strange. I thought I copy-pasted all the dates I needed. Okay, no, I see. I just forgot to note It Came From Not Here. What am I doing? Ignoring like one of the most important games ever made. It's not that important. It's because Bloodborne exists, and that's clearly the most important game ever made. Oh yeah, and Silent Hill 2. Oh yeah, and Silent Hill 1. Oh yeah, so Metal Gear Solid 3, right? And of course, there's an entire debate: which one is more important, 2 or 3, or 1 of the first of the not even the Silent Hills, of the Metal Gears. Yeah, I just realized you got the Silent Hill 1 to 3, right? And you got the Metal Gear 1 to 3. Yeah, just a trilogy. And then everything after that just went downhill. Am I supposed to read this? Here's the follow-up comment by Jake himself. Image not available. Oh, meta? Or just Game Jolt not maintaining the image hosts? An incredible experience about a character in an endless loop of anxiety of progression. I feel that really spoils what the game was about, but that was there for... Okay. All right, that was there. It was there for everyone to read, and I'll just leave it at that. Just start the game like I'm avoiding the puddle. Surprisingly, this game is not that loud, and it doesn't really have to be lowered that much on system volume. But maybe I'll be proven wrong. Proven wrong by this blue and yellow themed game. As Jake said, this is Less Realm, the continuation, or not really, maybe a spiritual successor, kind of like System Shock 2, going to Bioshock. I mean, there's a shock in the name, right? Konsequent, Less Realm, maybe we think. Yeah, I can see. This is definitely the Bioshock of the indie game world, and Less Realm is really the System Shock, once again, of the Game Jolt industry. Okay, now it's bass boosted. Now I have to lower my volume. I should have seen that perhaps on the horizon there. So I went from system volume 70 to 7, approximately. I can't do the math right now, but I divided the system volume by 10. I mean, okay. So the appearances, there are a ton of computers, they're booting up, and now I'm being lifted into a spaceship, or maybe a pneumatic tube, and it's maybe an elevator of a distant sort, one that may apply to an alien, which is shaped kind of like a upside down finger with the tip, not quite connected. And my man, Red Box, the red object that you have to capture in WarioWare Game Boy Advance final level, telling me some actual revelatory information, sort of thing that you would read in a psychological, philosophical, to bring out all the officals of manga. And that's it. He's letting me pass. I don't know. Those look like thrones connected to computers of the 80s, and the red one is special, and it's clearly meant for me. It's just like the Junji Ito meme. I don't know. I don't know. It's Mirror's Edge. Like what else do I say? It's Mirror's Edge. This is the Mirror's Edge of like space indie roguelikes with a little bit of a Souls Metroid influence. I'm playing like, and apparently it all just is Space Invaders when you combine all those influences. Yeah, I think I'm doing pretty well by all the metrics I can measure right now. I think if you actually took a look at the statistical data that you would find by your usual Dota 2 analyst, and I'm out of ammo. That's because this guy's mad. He's so mad. He's phasing in and out. He's deciding that, dude, it's like Metroid. What did I tell you? It's just like Metroid. Is that a spoiler? I don't know. Will I take out the line where I say, is that a spoiler? I don't know. Is it a spoiler for me to already spoil the possibility that I might be taking out the line? I don't know. And this guy is clearly more in mourning. That was part 1. And is that, maybe that was it, right? This is the loop. Oh no, now the door's closed until it opens. Maybe I just didn't acknowledge it opening. Okay. I'm going to assume that was actually the end. That you canonically are sucked up by a combination of Space Invaders and a Metroid. I'm just talking right now. Like, what am I doing? Okay, there we go. So, I forgot to go through the thumbnails. This is pretty much the ending that was just seen. I think that's a big spoiler now that I think about it. There's spoilers all over the place. I don't know. Should I feel bad about spoiling anything? This is the title screen. I can't possibly spoil that. There's definitely limit to spoilers, and I don't know them. 42,000 views. Not 42,000. 4,200 views and 6 likes. I didn't mean to show who liked it, but okay, there you go. It's kind of the usual troubadours at the helm. Yeah, this is, I think, a little bit above. It's above It Came From Not Here, but equal to Less Realm, roughly. A little bit less. And above Titan Flux Capacity, Timian, pretty much Asaki levels. I think it's K, but whatever. Asaki levels. Yeah. Or is it Ki? Because when you say sometimes demon is like, so it's spelled like that. No one's going to be able to see that on the screen. With the demon spelled with an AE and you still say E. So maybe it's Asaki. Oh, maybe I was wrong. Speaking of which, before we get to the real review, we got to do the community review. Oh, those are nice animations for their social media. It's not even called Twitter anymore, so it's kind of outdated. Just like this 10-year-old game. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to shut down anyone on this wavelength of 10-year-old indie games that only like less than 10,000 people have ever seen. Indie Game Hunt has left a message. Some of your coolest art in a released game, I think. So that does that mean that there must be cool art that has been released in an unreleased game? And I'm just never going to see it. Maybe he's like referring to Slumos, but I don't think so, because that'd be such a strange reference to make, or strange detail. But the gameplay is frustrating. Lots of build up and no climax and endless repetition, which I guess is sort of the point. So this is telling me that I missed something, because I was just walking through corridors. I got to the end. I got to the red throne, and then I ascended, and then I was shooting ships, and I thought I was doing okay, and then I got sucked by Space Invader equivalent to Metroid, or kind of like the faster than light aliens that suck out oxygen, the equivalent to that. Yeah. I gotta look it up. Faster than light oxygen aliens. Lanius. I just remembered it's Lanius. Yeah, Lanius. No, that's not what I want. Right here. Thank you, Gaming on Linux, for the thumbnail. Look at that. I can believe it. This ship would suck you off. Yes. Volando, the Screen Implosion Man, claims that he enjoyed it a lot, but still I didn't got the way to come out from the loop. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. We're looping, but what kind of loop? Because it's clearly not like, well, like a certain famous game, right? Clearly, like, I didn't just return to the bonfire in Dark Souls, right? Retsa, another art piece, feels like a less ROM spiritual successor. So either Retsa did not read the description, or the description was not formed at the time this was released. Yeah, I don't know. Hi. And they were taken away, kidnapped, put into a shack in the middle of Antarctica, forced to research penguins, and never got to finish their message. But I give a thumbs up for the attempt to at least send the message before that entire journey happened to them. Jellygow, yeah, Jellygow, yeah. Pretty interesting. I love the Spectrum-esque graphics. This is capitalized, so I don't know what Spectrum is. Spectre? Nah, but yeah, I don't know what the reference is there. And the mysterious atmosphere. Not much to talk about the gameplay or story, though. I'm not sure if anything different happens when you loop it enough times. Am I really supposed to keep looping? Okay, I'll go through another loop. I'll do it. I mean, there are no comments. This was like really quick. Imagine how quick it is. I just like ended right now, right? Or wait. Since I got a glitch, wait, let me go through the glitch. Maybe there's something revelatory here too. Something that's gonna make me believe in a different universe that exists, multiverse. 2 ratings, 2.2 out of 5. So that's roughly a 4 out of 10. We're gonna go down. And no, it's just Muriel with the regular 5.5. Shandine with the regular 3 out of 5. Okay. All right. Nothing there. Nothing too different. I'm gonna loop it. And I'm gonna put the Lanius aside. I never play Lanius in Faster Than Light. I can't possibly figure out what this man is trying to say to me. I don't even know if it's a man. They are man. So you would think like red box equals like red ship. I don't know. There's something important about the color red, about the color yellow, blue, maybe black. But I mean, I'm never gonna figure it out, right? Yeah, and this is really, it's like your usual shooting game. Maybe I'm not supposed to shoot those, and I'm just supposed to shoot the main dude. And he just, whenever he phases in, that's when he actually decides to shoot. You know, now that I think about it, right? What are these looping? I don't even know what could I possibly call it? And I'm out of ammo. Is that scripted? Perhaps. And the dude just gets to me immediately. That was actually like an instant transmission. I think this is like truly scripted. And of course, the red box exclaims in anguish. The loss, well, no, I'm right here. So I can't, oh my god, that's the running animation. Look at that. So he has arms, or they have, because I can't possibly figure out the gender of just a yellow finger pointing downwards with the smallest legs that can be ordained by the Xel'Naga to a zealot. This is can you imagine a Protoss unit that actually has legs this short? Which would be incredibly unusual, right? Dragoon, the Stalker, maybe like the Immortals. I guess the Immortals have pretty short legs. But like the Colossus, that's like way in the other direction. Yeah. This person is like maybe an Immortal Protoss at least. Maybe kind of like a probe, but nah, probes are they're wide boys. You know, I mean, they're not that wide. I guess drones are wider, but that's because they're like hovering with wings. This guy's walking, you know. I guess probes, oh, too. I think that, right? That changed. I think probes are actually hovering too, of course. And you know that they're hovering because they don't, I believe, trigger mines, especially in Brood War, right? Vultures, and if you're playing campaign mode in StarCraft 2, they don't trigger mines. I'm pretty sure they don't. Not like I actually researched that. Is this really a looping game? We're playing. What's blue now? I don't think that happened before, or did it? Yeah, maybe I just missed it. Well, I'm trying to think of a looper, like a Groundhog Day. But what kind of groundhog is? There's a groundhog and groundhog. Yeah, I think there is. Yeah, I do look like Bill Murray. And the red person is the I don't remember the name. The news anchor. I don't know. What if I refuse? This is just gonna be a random observation. This door reminds me of the Sennheiser logo. It just I don't know. Maybe because I see Sennheiser logos too often. Especially like pretty much everyone who enjoys audio, like Sennheiser somewhere. They're somewhere out there. How about that IE600? This is not sponsored, by the way. But if you want to sponsor me, give me an HE1. Yeah, and here I'm only shooting this guy, and when he phases in, that's when I'll shoot him. I'm conserving ammo. Actually, what if I just don't shoot? What do I do if I were to actually like take the pacifist route, right? But this game has no hints to a pacifist route. Does not exist. Of course, because pacifism did not exist in any game until... Oh, here we go. Game over. Pacifism did not exist until the release of Undertale. And you're going to bring up like Deus Ex. Like, you think me being stealthy with the baton, well, maybe like 2 levels on the melee, I hit the dude like right above the lower back. Or is it at the lower back? I cannot recall. Above or lower. Can't recall. And that is supposed to be stealth. That is supposed to be pacifism. I don't think so. I wonder how Jake actually achieved some of these. Is this a different monitor room, or is this? Man, I'm not paying enough attention if I'm asking questions like that, huh? Man, I suck. Yeah, I suck at reviewing video games. I keep like picking up the details, and it's like, oh, is that new? And it's probably not. It probably was already done. Yeah, see the blue highlight, like in Half-Life when Gordon reaches the home base after the boat level, trying to make sure he's not some foreign life force. That game is like nearly 20 years old, so no, that is an okay spoiler, I do believe. I think what I don't know what the actual time limit on spoilers are. Like, what about like for each hour you have to wait a year to spoil it? Like, let's say there's an 8 hour game, right? You can spoil the first hour a year after it released, and then the second hour a second year after, right? And there's like a bunch of people who are like secretly keeping a tally, and every time when you actually do spoil a game in a review, it's like no, when was it posted, right? When was it posted? It was posted a year ago. Okay, no, it's okay that they spoiled the intro. But I mean, how relevant are reviews? Like even the reviews I'm doing right now, these are kind of, no one's ever gonna read. I'm reviewing a 10-year-old game. Can I review like the 10th hour of this game? The 10th loop. Yeah, you measure it in loops. But like when Outer Wilds is 20 years old, are we gonna be okay with with spoiling it ever? Outer Wilds is it's 20 years at this point, dude. You're supposed to know that, and I'm not gonna spoil it because at the time of the creation of this video, the game is 4 years old. And who do you think I am? You think I care so much about spoilers. I'm so precautionary. Constant disclaimer. I should put in I'm gonna disclaimer. I'm gonna spoil like every bit of life information that you could possibly use for moving into a college dorm. By the way, you need coat hangers to hang your clothes, or I guess it's clothes hang, not coat specific, but you do probably need a coat for college. Depends on where you are stationed. For some people, they are stationed quite far south, below the point where winter even rears its head. I'm anthropomorphizing winter. And also because sometimes maybe it's part of the uniform. Maybe you just need a coat. Get like a trench coat. So that says 4. That is the number 4. This game is teaching us how to count. And I'll go for a 5th time, right? Because I'm okay with doing things 5 times. I think 5 is like the rule, right? I don't know what number people usually like. Some people like 5, like as a set is what I mean. For some people, that number is not 5. It's like 10. For some other people, it's pretty quick. It's just 1 or 2. Like let's say you receive vinyl, like numbered vinyl limited edition. What number do you want? You want like 100? You want like 1,000? You want 1, like the quad ones, or do you want triple ones? 2 ones or 1? That's a little bit of a. It's, I don't know. Maybe it's arbitrary, right? Maybe you're the one who simply defines like what is the value of the number. If you get, let's say in theory, you get a test pressing and it's actually the like 0. It's like the prototype, so it's 0 out of 500. Is that okay? Are you okay with that? You're okay with the test pressing? It's not the real pressing, right? But what if you got a real pressing? You got the original Pink Floyd 1973 Gay Rainbow Prism Edition original master, and it was number 1, but it wasn't the prototype. It wasn't the test pressing. Or what if you traded that number 1 original pressing for all the other everything that comes after that? What if you traded your Wish You Were Here for the Dark Side of the Moon, number 1 pressing for the other number 1 pressing? If I conveyed this vinyl conundrum properly. Yeah, well, I didn't shoot this time. The pacifist route, the true pacifist route. But of course, some people do not want to respond in kind, and they would rather, I don't know, convey the fact that maybe both of these ships really are they're the same. The ship is being assimilated. Oh, I accidentally pushed. Oh, that's my bad. I pushed escape. Okay, no. We'll go another round, all right? Because you know what everyone says. Not everyone. A few people. Not a few people. Like one person. When you got to make your own fun. Is this entertainment? Depending on who you are, this might be boring. What I'm saying is boring. My entire dimension of commentary is boring. The game is boring. You just hate the microphone I'm talking into. You hate all my words. You hate my style of speaking. You take deep offense to some of the terms I've used to describe vinyl. You own one of the original metal Pink Floyd pressings, and I did not even deign to notice your Live at Pompeii CD that was signed by, I don't know, Roger Waters himself and Alan Parsons as well. You hate me, and that's possible. That's the possibility, right? I'm trying, but what I'm saying is I'm trying to make my own fun, right? Maybe this is the entertainment. This is the most Psy Storm ever done. That's an obscure StarCraft reference. I think at this point it's pretty obscure. I mean, that video must be over a decade old, right? Boop, boop, boop. Makes you wonder what was Jake trying to convey with this part? Like, no matter what you do, it's just scripted that you fail. I mean, I guess is this like Asaki again? See, now I'm saying Asaki. Hey, hey. If I had a camera, I'd be pointing at it, just like a certain streamer in a certain moment that is very iconic to many. Yeah, that is a. I'm leaving that reference like unnoticed. No one will ever know where that reference is from, but maybe in the future, maybe. Okay, and I'm gonna see, since I pushed escape last time, I'm gonna see if it counts the numbers if there's a save game, and I bet there is none. I bet I messed up royally. Because what do you think? I'm a peasant. I mess up royally. When I mess up, I'm on the. Oh, it just starts from 1. All right, now I'm done. That is my limit. I do not think that you are supposed to achieve anything else. I think it's like an experiment in looping, but the looping is like there's no fruit to be grabbed from the tree. And my favorite fruit is probably the pear. Oh, you know what? I just came from the Northernlion community. Apparently oranges, that's where it's at. Wait, hold on. Let me bring it up. Oh, speaking of which, it's really cool to see Northernlion back on the Reddit React. The rumors of Reddit React court's demise were, for some, exaggerated. For some, they had some substance. For others, they did not simply put any heed into those words at all in either direction. Oh, here we go. Northernlion was right about oranges. I bought a pack of oranges when I went shopping yesterday. I had one this morning and it was a 10 out of 10. Then an hour later, I had another one and it was also a 10 out of 10. What have they done to the oranges, man? Tangerines are unreliable. Strawberries usually suck. Apples are pretty consistent at an 8 and a 10 on a good day. I know I got a sample size of 2, but the oranges I had this morning were just too good. Yeah, I think oranges, maybe I'm a little bit more tangerine, or maybe I don't even know what a tangerine really is. Oranges, I don't think are 10s, but they're good. I think they're consistently good. Men be like oranges, women be like sushi, and I have no idea why this is. Right. This is light mode. This is hybrid light dark mode. Mandarin oranges. Maybe I should try Mandarin oranges. Oranges someday. Another Mandarin recommendation. Oh, maybe. Vitamin deficiency. Okay, no, that's too far. We don't need vitamin deficiency discussion. We're talking about Wait a minute. Wait. Konsequent orange juice. No, I don't know where I was going with that. Wait, hold on. Does this ring any bells? Kong orange, Konsequent, cone orange, cone orange, Konsequent. Anyone? Con. Dude, Khan is the... Okay, on too. Khan is the name of the wolf from Chainsaw Man. Clearly... Khan Orange. Clearly connected? The consequence of my actions. Alright, yeah, I just had... That was an obvious joke. For mechanics, they exist, but they do nothing. Who cares? I'm saying it, who cares? If I could, I'd play this game with my mind. Without pressing any key. It's yeah, no mechanics. Okay, I'll name them. Arrow key movement. Wait, I just realized there's space. But you never had to use space. Oh, enter. Oh, my bad. It was enter to start the game. Resource manager. Okay. None. The game pretends to have a HUD, a heads-up display with the ship, but it doesn't do anything, doesn't mean anything. Is this game fun? I'm gonna say no. I mean, I can, try to extrapolate as much as I can from the artistic meaning, but I feel that artistically, this game had less going for it than the other pieces of work out there. So I think it came from not here. I feel I could make more of that game, and And it was like still abstract. I think Less Realm. Okay, this game is probably better than Less Realm. I feel it actually has a little bit of an expansion compared to Less Realm. Tide Flux Capacity 2. I mean, yeah, that game had gameplay, but it's not the point, right? I like Varuk Dinky Taimian. I feel there was like so much more to get, but maybe that's because that game was actually speaking English, like quote unquote English. The same quotes I would use for Shakespeare. Yeah, Shakespeare speaking quote unquote English. Ease of use. I mean, yeah, you just move. It's pretty easy. I'm starting to not know what ease of use means. Why? Again, I don't. Some of these I actually don't know why I put them there. Graphis. For graphics, it's just Atari gibberish. The expansion on the original Atari saga that was first formed in the 1980s. There's the red box dude who appears, yellow finger guy, alien technology, spaceships. Speaking of which, alien technology reminds me of just old style computers. Like the communications technology that maybe you would see in a like a show like not show a film like Doctor Strangelove when Peter Sellers he was the British dude and he's like surrounded by all those machines with tape. Yeah, that's I don't know if I gotta look up 1980s computers. Hold on. Okay, 1980s computers apparently just look like this. So okay, that's incorrect of me. 1970s. They still look the same. Well, computers have come a long way. Happy for computers. Okay, here, this one. NASA 1960. Yeah, like this. Kind of reminds me of this. And these were NASA computers, official. Yeah, like this. Yeah, with the computers in the 1960s. Okay, it's 60s computers. Kind of like Fallout. There's just technologically advanced, but no, So I don't think there was a soundtrack. So I can just there was kind of like a title, like a soundtrack for the title screen, but no one's listening to that. Here it is. I'm gonna quote myself. This is like some Earthbound ambient dungeon music. It's so, in a way, disorganized, but that is the point. For sound design, there was some humming from the huge elevator, which kind of blasted my ears. There were laser shots. I can't remember for sure, because I did not pay attention. I'm sorry, but I'm pretty sure there were laser shots. For the story and writing, it's just wingdings, which means like you're not supposed to understand the story directly. The alien tries a simulation against an enemy ship and fails. The red box consoles the yellow finger, and for reasons that can only guess, you are looping. Maybe it's like the simulation in the simulation, like you're playing a simulation of a yellow finger going through a simulation and then failing, and then it's like you try to restart the simulation to see if the yellow finger can do anything different, and they don't. And again, I didn't get like the real true ending for this unless that was the ending. So yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I'm sure there's go on like YouTube, you search the walkthrough, and the walkthrough is like going through this loop 6 times, and then you get the ending, and which leads me and everyone, the entire audience who's currently surrounding me in an auditorium, to go to the next step. Is it repetitive? Yeah, it's designed to be repetitive. If there's a looping system, yeah, it's designed to be repetitive. So where does it stand in the gaming industry? So the obvious one is going to be Outer Wilds. Yeah, what else is there to say? There are tons of other, maybe not tons. There's some other looping games. Technically, Hades is a loop, and a lot of other roguelikes. I'm sure there are other looping time games. There's 12 minutes, but no one likes 12 minutes. So we're gonna leave that out of the discussion. I brought it in, but I think 12 minutes is not really gonna influence games the same, or games as a looper the same way Outer Wilds will, or the same way that a game like Hades might. What could be done better? I think the loop effect could be more obvious, because I'm not sure if there's an actual goal to achieve with the looping. I think fighting against the enemy ship, maybe the idea of the effect that you can have there, because what's the point of shooting when you eventually just realize, I could just stand there. I don't know. You would think, maybe there's a different ending if you fight. I don't know. Maybe I'm not understanding that the point was that the ship is effectively more effectively than you in power. But I don't know. That's kind of a strange way to end it, right? you fight the ship, and the ship is just too powerful, and then you fail. And that's when you fight it genuinely, or you don't fight the ship, and it's just the same result. And then you try to adjust your strategy, and nothing really changes. You shooting the animatronics on the sides of the screen doesn't do anything. Shooting the ship itself doesn't do anything, right? So it's like I feels like the player's naturally inclined to just not try harder or to not see their improvement, especially because they have to go through the entire walking through corridors and elevator rising cutscenes. After they fail the ship fight, yeah, there's just it's like very harsh penalty for attempting to do the ship fight, but again, the ship fight doesn't even matter. So I don't know. There's like a lot of maybe kind of like a conflict there of sorts. I don't know. Just but again, I think the first time you play the game, you probably realize, especially if you've been following Jake Clover's work, you're supposed to realize you're not really supposed to go through all the whole like loop again, like in a way that is that with the mindset that you will do better in the ship fight, or maybe you do, but maybe the second time you realize nothing really changed, and then that's when you're done. Yeah, maybe that's kind of maybe that's like sort of the experiment. See how often the player could loop before they just realize, wait, no, this is pointless. I don't know. So where does this game stand in Jake Clover's catalog? Obviously, it's just the sequel to Less Realm. It feels like to me a little bit of an experiment. I probably already said this. An experiment with like looping, with providing a loop, but the loop does nothing. You cannot change the future. You cannot change the outcome against an enemy ship. Yeah, I think maybe that's what it is. Providing a loop with no effect or consequence. See, wrapping it with the title. Note the change in tone of my voice. I shouldn't have said that. No, I shouldn't have noted the tone. But I feel like to drive the impact, perhaps, of what the game is trying to convey, it's about providing a loop with no effect or consequent, and your actions effectively are set in stone. I think is maybe that's what it is meant to be. Your actions are set in stone, no matter how much you try and try again, no matter how much the number of the loops goes up. Like loop 1 versus loop 6, loop 8. The consequences of your actions are the same. I guess that's it. I think that's a pretty satisfactory conclusion. Yeah, I'd like that. I like that thought. The consequences of your actions remain the same, no matter how many loops are conducted. Konsequent. And also like sequence and sequential, right? I mean, because like it's counting. Wow, what a wordplay, right? It's counting the sequence of your actions. Sequence, the following of one thing after another, succession, and then sequent. Is this a word? Oh, sequent. Following in order or time, subsequent. Following as a result, consequent. Oh, consequent. Oh, it's just straight up a word. Okay. So what's consequent? Consequent, following as a natural effect, result, or conclusion. Following as a logical conclusion. So I guess I don't know what logical conclusion there is between the yellow finger and fighting the enemy ship, but I think it's reasonable to say that the idea is the result is the same as a result of as a logical conclusion, as a natural effect, and it doesn't matter. The consequence is the same no matter how many times you loop, unless I missed the real looping ending with the different consequence. Oh man, maybe is there like a consequence playthrough? Time to look it up so I can see what the actual ending was that I missed. Nah, it's because it's slow because it's doing stuff. Okay, according to the only playthrough of this game that exists on YouTube, the ending is what the ending I got is the ending you're supposed to get. Pretty sure. You always get destroyed and assimilated by the alien ship. Okay. Anyway, I think that wraps everything up in a tortilla blanket. Yeah, GG's, good games. I played this game for far longer than I should have, by the way. Okay. Consequent Night Fever? Yeah? Yeah, okay. Yeah, GG's.